Young and the Restless spoilers Thurdays. Update the 20th of August, 2026. Welcome back to our channel, fellow Genoa City addicts. Today is a beautiful, sunny day, but the drama brewing on our screens is darker and stormier than ever. Grab your coffee, or maybe pour yourself something a little stronger, because we have an absolute mountain of madness to unpack from the upcoming episodes. We are diving deep into the chaos today, so let's get right into it. I cannot even begin to process what I just watched. Seriously, I am sitting here at my keyboard late at night. The glow of the screen is burning my eyes, my fingers are flying across the keys, and I am just so overwhelmingly frustrated and emotionally exhausted by the sheer audacity of half the characters on this show right now. I mean, are we even watching the same show anymore? Because the Wednesday, August 19th episode of The Young and the Restless just took everything we thought we knew about these people, threw it in a giant blender, and hit puree. And I am simultaneously living for the drama and completely dreading what comes next. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take a deep breath. Okay, back to the point. We need to talk about Matt Clark. We need to talk about the Newmans. We need to talk about Billy Abbott losing his absolute mind for the 100th time. I've been watching this show religiously since 2015, and I have seen some truly wild, unhinged storylines, but the absolute nerve of some of these people right now is completely off the charts. React first, explain later. I am sick to my stomach. I literally screamed at my television screen when Matt Clark walked into Crimson Lights to find Sharon. Like, what is he doing there? He just waltzes into the coffee house while Sharon is literally carrying a heavy tub of dirty dishes, looking exhausted from actually working for a living, and he has the absolute gall to ask her how Nick is doing. I'm sorry, but no, you do not get to do that. You do not get to terrorize an entire family, manipulate people, cause severe psychological trauma, drive Noah and Sienna to flee all the way to Los Angeles just to escape your shadow, and then just show up for a cup of coffee and a casual chat. I can't believe the writers actually wrote this scene, but they did. And Sharon, bless her beautiful, empathetic heart, she looked at him with such righteous, fiery anger at first. "Why do you keep coming back like this?" she asked him. And I was cheering from my couch. Yes, Sharon, tell him, tell this absolute monster to get out of your coffee shop and out of your life. But then the scene takes this bizarre, twisted turn that I am still trying to wrap my head around. Matt starts talking about how he has a job now, working for Phyllis Summers of all people. And don't even get me started on Phyllis removing his ankle monitor and hiring him, because that is a whole other tangent I will go on later. Actually, no, I have to say it right now. Phyllis is out of her mind. She is so blinded by her hatred for Victor that she has invited a literal viper into her bed and her business. Okay, catching myself, back to Sharon. Matt says he feels accepted by Phyllis, and he wants to build a life here in Genoa City. And then he starts crying. Matt Clark cries. He literally sheds tears and says he wants Sharon and Nick's forgiveness, even though he knows it will never happen. And what does Sharon do? She softens. She actually softens. Am I the only one who thinks this is completely insane? She tells him that she's done unthinkable things too recently, and that she believes he's truly trying to change. She tells him that forgiveness isn't easy and he needs to forgive himself. I mean, I know Sharon has a huge heart. I know she's a therapist, and she has this deep, seemingly bottomless well of empathy for broken people. But this is Matt Clark. This is the man who pushed her family to the absolute brink. Remember when they tried this redemption arc garbage with other villains? Remember when they tried to make us feel sorry for Patty Williams or Ian Ward? Yeah, didn't work then either. You cannot just erase the trauma he caused with a few fake tears. He literally drove Nick to the point of a complete mental and physical collapse. And now he's standing there crying, saying he's going to stay and earn her forgiveness no matter what it takes. I am dreading this storyline so much. I know some people on the forums are loving this complex, reformed bad boy angle, but personally, I think it's a massive slap in the face to all the trauma the Newmans have endured. He doesn't deserve a redemption arc. He deserves a permanent jail cell. But of course, this is a daytime soap opera, so he's probably going to end up saving someone's life in a fire and becoming the town mayor by next year. It makes my skin crawl. He is manipulating her empathy, and Sharon is playing right into his hands. Speaking of the Newmans, can we please talk about the absolute emotional whiplash of Victor and Nikki right now? because I am so incredibly frustrated with how they are handling the Nick situation. I mean, Nick has literally hit rock bottom. He checked himself out of rehab against medical advice. He is currently hiding out in a dingy, disgusting motel room. He is hallucinating Matt Clark in his terrifying fentanyl nightmares, and he is doing heavy drugs and sleeping with his enabler neighbor, Marie Kirkland. He is spiraling into the darkest abyss imaginable. And what were Victor and Nikki doing while this was happening? They were having a Venice-themed romantic evening at the ranch. I literally cannot even make this up. Nikki comes downstairs wearing a Venetian mask over her eyes. Victor is playing romantic Italian melodies. They are exchanging love poetry. Like, hello? Your son is literally dying in a motel room. I know Nikki is trying to put on a brave face. I know she is internally agonizing over Nick's severe relapse and trying to pretend everything is normal to keep herself from completely falling apart. She was at a party recently pretending everything was fine when she is actually terrified out of her mind. But this level of denial is staggering, even for the great Victor and Nikki Newman. But thankfully, the spoilers for Wednesday finally show Victor and Nikki sitting down to actually plan how to help Nick through his addiction. And honestly, it's about damn time. Nikki is a recovering addict herself. She has battled severe alcoholism, she has battled MS, she has been to the darkest, most desperate places a human being can go, and she has clawed her way back to the light. She knows exactly what Nick is going through right now. She knows that you can't just throw Newman money at the problem or have Victor yell at it until it goes away. Nick needs a real, gritty, empathetic, and aggressive intervention. I am actually kinda here for this part of the storyline. I want to see Nikki step up and use her own painful history to save her son. It will bond her and Victor together in a real, raw way. Not just this fake Venetian mask poetry nonsense. They need to get in the trenches. Because if they don't, Nick is not going to survive this bender. And while Victor and Nikki are desperately trying to figure out how to save Nick, we have Adam Newman spending quality time with Christian Newman. Oh boy, here we go. I am so deeply conflicted about this. Because on one hand, yes, Adam is Christian's biological father. He gave him up to let Nick raise him because Nick thought Christian was his, and then Sage died, and it was this whole massive, heartbreaking, tragic mess. I remember watching that storyline unfold years ago and just sobbing at my screen. So Adam wanting to spend time with the boy is natural. But on the other hand, Nick is in rehab, well, supposed to be in rehab, but he's currently on a massive drug bender. Nick is incredibly vulnerable right now, and Adam swooping in to play Superdad with Christian at this exact moment feels incredibly opportunistic and slimy. Nikki is absolutely freaking out about it, and for once in my life, I completely agree with her. Nikki is terrified that Adam is using Nick's severe addiction as a convenient excuse to worm his way back into Christian's life and take over as the primary father figure. And can you blame her for being paranoid? Adam's motives are never pure. He's currently dealing with Victor's absolute wrath over the secret Newman media sale to Sally. He's arguing with Chelsea about their highly toxic past. He's a walking disaster area. He doesn't need to be dragging an innocent little boy like Christian into his chaotic orbit. But Adam is going to do what Adam is going to do. I just know this is going to explode into a massive war when Nick finally gets sober and realizes Adam has been playing house with his son while he was fighting for his life. The Newman brothers' war is going to reignite, and it is going to be uglier than ever before. I'm kinda dreading the inevitable custody battle, but also, I'm bringing popcorn because Joshua Morrow and Mark Grossman always act the hell out of those scenes. Okay, let's pivot to the Abbotts, because my blood pressure is rising just thinking about Billy Boy Abbott. Kyle Abbott is panicking, and I do not blame him one bit. Kyle is in full-blown red alert damage control mode for Jabbo right now, and it is entirely 100% Billy's fault. I swear to you, Billy Abbott is a walking, talking wrecking ball. He cannot stand to just be happy and stable. He has a psychological need to destroy everything around him. So, Billy has decided that he has found some ancient, obscure loophole from John Abbott's bailout years ago, and he is now aggressively claiming that the Abbotts legally own Chancellor Industries. He literally crashed Lillian Kane's celebration at the GCAC to drop this massive bomb on them, and now he is going to war. A massive, dirty, highly publicized corporate war against Lily Winters and Kane Ashby. And who is getting caught in the crossfire of this ego trip? Jabot. Think about the timing here. Jack is at home recovering from being literally stabbed and nearly dying. Diane is deeply traumatized by Dr. Markham and is currently unearthing a dangerous mystery with Patty Williams. And now Kyle, who just made a highly dangerous secret pact with Patty in jail to destroy Victor, is left holding the bag at Jabot while Billy goes off on this delusional corporate crusade. Kyle is juggling so many explosive secrets right now, and the absolute last thing he needs is Billy drawing the SEC, the press, and the wrath of Devon and Lily down on his family's company. I am so sick and tired of Billy's corporate obsessions. Remember when they tried this with the whole Restless style magazine? Or when he gambled away the yacht? Or when he literally left Victoria at the altar? Yeah, Billy never learns from his mistakes. Kyle is running around trying to fix the PR nightmare, trying to keep Jabot stable, and Billy is literally popping mini bottles of champagne at the athletic club with Audra Charles. He is celebrating. He thinks he has already won this war. He is so smug, so triumphant, and so completely delusional, and it makes me want to throw my remote control at the television. Lily and Kane are not going to just roll over and hand him the keys to the kingdom. They are going to fight to the absolute death for Chancellor, and Billy is going to drag the entire Abbott family reputation through the mud in the process. But you know what the absolute worst, most heartbreaking part of all this is? Sally Spectra. Oh my god. Can we please talk about Sally for a minute? I am so sorry, but Sally needs to wake up, pack her bags, and dump Billy Abbott immediately. Like, yesterday. I am not neutral on this topic at all. I love Sally. She has been through so much absolute hell since she came to Genoa City. She lost her beautiful baby, Ava, with Adam. She has had her career ripped away from her multiple times. She has been manipulated, used, and discarded by powerful men. All she wants is a stable, loving, peaceful life. And what does she get? Billy. Sally is currently out of town on a business trip. She just found out she is pregnant. She took a pregnancy test with Audra by her side. It was positive, and she is absolutely terrified. She is so scared because of the trauma of what happened with Ava. She needs a supportive, calm, reliable partner right now more than anything in the world. And where is Billy? He's starting a hostile corporate takeover, popping champagne, and he explicitly told Audra that he hasn't even told Sally about his plans. He's making massive, life-altering decisions that will bring insane amounts of stress, lawsuits, and media scrutiny into their lives, and he's keeping his pregnant girlfriend completely in the dark because he knows she would hate it. Audra literally warned him. Audra Charles, who is usually the most selfish, calculating person in any room, actually tried to protect Sally's peace. She told Billy he was being destructive and that he needed to focus on his personal life, and Billy just brushed her off. He arrogantly assumed Sally will be thrilled that he's going to be a powerful CEO again. He is delusional. Am I the only one who sees this massive train wreck coming? Sally is going to come home, hormonal, terrified about her high-risk pregnancy, and find out her boyfriend has started World War III with the Winters family. I know some people on Twitter are loving the Billy and Sally pairing because they have chemistry, but personally, I think it's a disaster waiting to happen. Billy is an overgrown man-child who constantly makes terrible, impulsive decisions. He never listens to anyone. He doesn't listen to Jack, he doesn't listen to Jill, he didn't listen to Victoria, and he sure as hell isn't going to listen to Sally. She needs to pack her bags, take her baby, and run far, far away from Billy Abbott before he ruins her life completely. I'm hoping this pregnancy makes her realize that she cannot rely on him to be a stable father. She needs to break up with him right now. Please, writers, give Sally some agency. Let her be the one to walk away from this toxic mess. Let me just go off on a tangent here about the psychology of Billy Abbott, because it ties directly into why Kyle is freaking out and why Sally is in so much danger. Billy suffers from this chronic, deep-seated need to prove himself. He has always been the screw-up brother to Jack. Jack is the golden boy, the CEO, the patriarch, the one who does everything right. Billy is the gambler, the cheater, the guy who constantly self-destructs when things get too quiet. When he finds a secret like this Chancellor ownership loophole, it's like a literal drug to him. He gets this manic glint in his eye. He doesn't care who gets hurt. He doesn't care that Lily built Chancellor Winters into an empire with her bare hands. He doesn't care that Kane is ready to fight dirty to protect the mother of his children. All Billy sees is a shiny crown that he thinks he inherently deserves. And Kyle? Kyle is looking at his uncle and seeing a massive, ticking time bomb of a liability. Kyle has grown up a lot recently. He's a father to Harrison. He's trying to protect his dad's legacy while his dad is recovering from a near-fatal stabbing. Kyle is probably sitting in the CEO chair right now, pulling his hair out, making frantic phone calls to corporate lawyers, trying to legally distance Jabot from Billy's personal crusade. It's exhausting just watching it. Kyle knows that if Billy goes down in flames, he's going to try to take Jabbo down with him. And let's circle back to Adam and Christian for a second, because the more I type about this, the more worked up I get. Nikki's paranoia is 100% justified, and I will defend her on this to the end. Adam is a master manipulator. Look at what he's doing right now with Chelsea. They are having these intense, heavy conversations about their past, and Adam is playing the victim, talking about how Victor is shutting him out. Adam always uses his kids as pawns in his emotional games. He did it with Connor, and now he's going to do it with Christian. Christian is an innocent little boy who thinks Nick is his dad. Yes, Adam is the biological father, but Nick raised him. Nick was there for the scraped knees, the nightmares, the school plays. If Adam uses Nick's fentanyl addiction as an excuse to file for emergency custody or something sick like that to punish Victor and Nick, I will legitimately riot. I can just picture the scene playing out next month. Nick finally gets clean. He comes back to the ranch, shaky but determined to be a father again, and there's Adam, playing catch with Christian in the yard, looking at Nick with that smug, superior smirk. I stepped up while you were off getting high, brother. Ugh, it makes my skin crawl just imagining it. Victor is going to have to intervene, and you know Victor always secretly favors Adam's ruthless side when push comes to shove. Nikki is going to be the only one standing between Adam and Christian, and she's already dealing with her own trauma and her recent blindness scare. The woman cannot catch a break. And speaking of not catching a break, let's talk about Sharon again before I wrap this up. I know I started with her, but I need to dive deeper into this Matt Clark situation because it is genuinely upsetting me. Why does the show insist on making Sharon the ultimate perpetual martyr? She has been kidnapped. She has had her baby stolen. She has been gaslit. She has been locked in a clinic by Martin Laurent. She has survived so much trauma. And Matt Clark is one of her biggest abusers. He literally terrorized her son Noah. He assaulted her. And now the writers are having her stand in her coffee shop, holding a dirty rag, looking at this monster with pity. Pity? I know how hard it is when no one wants to believe it's true, she tells him. Are you kidding me? Sharon, you are a licensed therapist. You went to school for this. You should know better than anyone that psychopaths mimic remorse to gain access to their victims. Matt crying in Crimson Lights is textbook, manipulative behavior. He knows Sharon is the weak link in the Newman armor because she is so empathetic and forgiving. He knows that if he can get Sharon to forgive him, it will drive Nick absolutely insane. And considering Nick is currently doing hard drugs in a motel, finding out that Sharon is playing nice with Matt Clark might literally push Nick into a fatal overdose. It's so reckless of the writers to frame this as a redemption moment for Matt. It's not redemption. It's a predator playing with his prey, and Sharon is falling for it hook, line, and sinker. But anyway, back to the main point of this Wednesday episode. The pacing is just insane right now. We have Matt begging for forgiveness, Victor and Nikki planning a desperate intervention, Adam playing daddy with Christian, Kyle having a corporate meltdown at Jabbo, and Sally being completely oblivious to her boyfriend's destructive path. It's a classic Y and R setup, where all the dominoes are perfectly lined up, and we are just waiting for someone to flick the first one and watch the whole town collapse. I'm predicting it right now. Mark my words. Sally is going to come back to Genoa City, walk into the GCAC, and see Billy in a screaming match with Kane Ashby or Lily. She's going to find out about the Chancellor takeover from a GC buzz alert on her phone instead of from the man she loves. The extreme stress is going to threaten her pregnancy, and Audra is going to be the one to rush her to the hospital, while Billy is too busy reviewing legal briefs to even notice she's gone. And that is going to be the final straw. Sally is going to look at Billy, realize he hasn't changed a single bit since the day he gambled away his daughter's college fund, and she is going to walk out on him. And I will be cheering from my couch with a glass of wine. As for Nick, the intervention with Victor and Nikki is going to be brutal, but necessary. I want to see Melody Thomas Scott act her absolute heart out in these scenes. I want Nikki to look Nick in the eye and tell him about the shakes, the DTs, the absolute shame of waking up and not knowing what you did the night before. I want her to strip away all the Newman wealth and prestige and just be a mother fighting for her son's life in the mud. If they do it right, it could be Emmy-winning material for both of them. But if Victor just yells at him and tells him to be a man and protect the company, I'm going to scream. Nick doesn't need a CEO right now. He needs parents who understand his pain. Alright, I've been typing furiously for way too long, and my coffee is completely cold. I just needed to get all of this out of my system because my friends who don't watch the show look at me like I have 3 heads when I try to explain why a corporate takeover of Chancellor Industries is a matter of life and death, or why Matt Clark crying is the scariest thing on television. You guys get it though. You understand the deep emotional investment we have in these characters after watching them for years and years. We want them to win, we want them to learn, and when they do incredibly stupid things like Billy Abbott or Sharon Newman, we take it personally. I'm gonna go rewatch the promo for tomorrow, and probably get myself worked up all over again. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I being too hard on Billy? Am I the only one who thinks Matt's tears were completely fake? Drop your thoughts below, because I need to talk about this with people who actually understand the beautiful, frustrating madness of Genoa City.